everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's great to have you, and if you're returning, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. So today's mission is to do a stitch with me, and as you can see, again, I've got my Realm of Middle-earth map out, and this is going to be one with some chats. I'm going to go through your lovely comments. I'll show you the piece that I'm working on. It's Realm of Middle-earth map. This is the Tilton crafts piece, and I am in this area here. So I'm just working along here, back towards Mirkwood again, which is under there somewhere. So today's mission, I'm going to work in some of these park threads. So my camera's not going to be terribly close to the stitching, because when the thread is worked in, it literally goes. I mean, I worked in one here and I was putting stitches in all the way down to the bottom. So yeah, so probably that will be as close in as we get. So yeah, I've been able to move the hook so I can get to these threads, and I'm going to move it a little further next time and get these ones as well, because there's more underneath where my fabric's folded over. But yeah, it's time that these threads were worked in. Then when I pick it up, I'll just continue to fill in. This is worked 1/1 full cross on 25 count, and we're at 33.24%. I've done 137 stitches so far today, but we'll see how far we can get. So as I said, we'll be having some chats, so I will be looking through comments and seeing what you guys have left for me today. Have I marked off stitches? I've marked off stitches I haven't actually done. Hold on. 33 stitches today. I'll get this right in a minute. 133. Because I've just realised that marked off some stitches I hadn't actually done, like an absolute numpty. So there we go. So yeah, so yeah, I'm going to go through your comments. It's Monday morning as I film this. I tried to have a live stream last night, but for some reason I couldn't. Every time I tried on my laptop with the new webcam that I bought, and it pixelated and split the picture. So then I tried it twice. I tried it in different USB ports. Then I went to my phone and tried it on my phone. And I opened the YouTube app and I went to go live, and I set it all up. Pressed the button to go live. It told me I was live, and then it stopped the stream. And I must have tried about 8 times, and I was getting incredibly frustrated. And yeah, I couldn't do it, and I don't know why. I'm going to have a look at, see if I could, I mean, as I said, this is Monday, so I'm going to see if I can fathom out what's wrong, and hopefully by the time you've seen this, I have been able to go live on Wednesday, because I'm looking at using some restreaming software. I just find it so frustrating. I'm not technologically minded. I'm a creative mind rather than a technological mind. And I find it incredibly frustrating when I know what I want to do, and I work out the way in which to do it, and then the equipment lets me down. So yeah, it's very frustrating. But what can I do? If it carries on, I'm going to have to consider whether or not I will still be able to do live streams, because if I can't schedule streams in advance on my phone because of the orientation changing, that I can't go live instantly because it kicks me out on my phone, and I can't use my laptop webcam. What am I going to do? I love doing my live streams, and I'd be very sad if I can no longer do them anymore, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so as I said, today I'm going to go through some of your lovely comments as I fill in these threads. Hannah's in at the moment. She'll be coming down to get ready for work shortly. And that was the other thing. I mean, Hannah had even contributed to my thread in my group last night with some of her diamond painting progress to show too. And I was like, oh, I can't even show that. So frustrated. Never mind. Anyway, let's crack on with what you guys have been saying. I've got a lot of comments, so I'll fill the best part of this video with them, which is great. So the first comment I'm looking at is on live stream number 10, where I was working on She Sleeps, because my Wednesday live streams are dedicated to She Sleeps at the moment. Denise says she sees an old man in thread in your stitching in there at your stitching time 1.1 minute and 26. I had a look, Denise, and I couldn't see it. But it's one of them things, isn't it, where people can see objects. I can see a cat in my stitching shelf, but some people can't see it. What do they call that? There is a name for it. I'm pretty sure I'll find it. Then Helen on live stream 13 Wednesday says, sorry I had to leave you live. Thank you for showing my finish. I'll see you. Looking forward to Sunday's live. No worries at all, Helen. It's my pleasure. I like to see all of your beautiful works. You're all so talented. Some of the stuff I've seen has been absolutely stunning. The neighbours out ready, going off to work. He's been banging his garage door. Okay, Stitching Betty says, hi Nicola, sorry I missed your live videos. YouTube doesn't even show me my notification or live ups and I'm subscribed and all. But I'm Hatayama to watch you anyway. Would just be more fun live. Oh, where is it all, Betty? I would just check on each device that you've got notifications enabled. Under the notifications at the bottom of the screen, but underneath the window, if you're watching on a laptop, for example, it says notifications. There's a drop down. If you just put on for select all, hopefully that should sort that out. And on mobile, you need to make sure that notifications are enabled. There is a particular way to do it in the YouTube app. But I know that other content creators have had this problem because the settings are not sort of porting across to all devices. So there we go. Okay, Silver Stitches on Floss Tube, Chatty Floss Tube 24, Chatty Stitch with Me 24, should I say, where I had my stitching shelf out. It says, love this video, you're such a calming influence, and I managed 137 stitches during this video. Can I just say you enabled me to purchase Envy, and of course Vanity and Lust came along for the ride. I love your talking Stitch with Me's and the journey you go through. say hi to Andy for me, and I promised to watch one of his videos someday, and I know you have been watching them, Lizzie, haven't you? Thank you for taking the time to make these encouraging videos, and of course thank you for the Ada. I sent her some 20 count fabric. She was itching for a start, and paying for the fabric was a little bit of an issue, because it's a large investment when you're looking at a big piece of fabric. And luckily I'd got a piece from a bolt that was just about the right size, so I just popped it in the post for her. And it's, from what I've seen in your floss tube, Lizzie, it's coming along a treat. So great stuff. Always happy to help a fellow stitcher. Okay, let's just mark these off. Oops, that one. This is a short thread, not been many stitches out of this one. I don't know why on earth I started parking these, I can't even remember. There you go, see just 3 stitches out of that. What was the point in parking that? Okay. Sharon, the lovely Sharon, congratulations by the way, Sharon, if you are listening to this. For anybody that doesn't know, Sharon did mention it on one of my lives. She was having some treatment for a very specific female, or a generally specific to females, cancer. She had early stage and has had some successful treatments and has rang the bell. So congratulations, Sharon, on being cancer free for now. I know that you've got a few hurdles to jump through yet, but here's hoping that the next few years continue smoothly for you, and you have all my love and all my support. Sharon says, lovely stitching, Nicola. Oh, Hannah is just so lovely. I could give her a hug if she was nearby. Both girls are lovely though. Hope all goes well for Andy with his interview. And indeed it did. It went very well for him. So thank you for that, lovely lady. Needles come unthreaded. That's good. Okay. So on my Stitch With Me, where I was doing the Lord of the Rings stained glass, I've had a couple of those out recently. Laurie Clark comments on that one, and I'm in the wrong way on that stitch. And she says, I see Frodo. I got 1% on my huge Hade while stitching this. I'm also using your knots on the needle trick. It's simple, but it helps. It absolutely does. I get fed up of rethreading my needle because I am a bit too handy with pulling out the thread just a little, the needle through the fabric just a little quickly and not actually holding the eye of the needle. So it definitely does indeed help. And I'm glad it helps you, Laurie, as well. I know one or two others have used it as well. And it's easy to sort of attach it, and it's easy to unattach it as well, because after a few stitches the knot tends to go a little slack anyway, and it's not a it's not fully secure. But you know, if for example that I'd split a block or gone through the wrong hole or whatever, it's easy to take the thread off the needle and unpick. She says that she also seems to be wanting to only stitch on one project right now. Oh wow. Well, sometimes that's just the way it is, Laurie. If you're only feeling the one project, you're only feeling the one project, and that's that. I get to, even though I have a rotation, I sometimes get to the, I really just want to stitch on this piece kind of thing, which is why I'm quite glad when some of my pieces come up on my Sunday stitch, because it gets those extra stitches that I've been itching to put in. I'm absolutely right now praying I have put all of these part threads in the right place. They look to be, but you know, it was so long ago since I parked them, I don't really want to end up, you know, having the wrong colour. I was working on my night cafe last night, and after having the, you know, frustrating time with trying to get onto the stream and failing ultimately, I was stitching, and of course I am parking on that one, but I got quite distracted, and I parked no end of threads in the wrong place. Luckily I managed to catch them all, so next time I pick it up I shouldn't have a problem, but still, that's just sheer frustration on my part and not looking properly. All it takes is a slight distraction, isn't it? I suppose what I could do is just check the colours against the ones that are on my thread card, couldn't I? Just so I'm absolutely sure that we are the right colour. So this one is 975. And yeah, it's the same colour, so I guess if I do that, then I'll definitely be sure that I've got the right colour in. Okay, Bez Diamond Art say, love the video. Oh, what diamond paintings does Hannah do? I have to do lots of diamond paintings in the art. As big as Hades. Yeah, she's got a number of that were kindly gifted to her. And there are all sorts of ones, and some of them are Hade images as well, or images that I've seen in cross stitch as well. She plugs away at it, bless her heart. Does a little bit here and there. Cat's come down to eat some breakfast, or a hobbit breakfast. Judy on live stream 35. Couldn't catch the live today. Beautiful colours in this piece. Everyone's stitching is so pretty. That was when I was doing, I think, Daughter of the Deep. And yep, Judy, you're absolutely right. Everyone's stitching is. I am so happy to be able to share share the stitches, as it were. Sharon comments again on the same one with Daughter of the Deep, and I know it is because she mentions my stitching method. She says, great stitching, change her diagonal stitching like a duck to water. Yep, I had another session on it on the diagonal, and it's still working quite well. And I think I've definitely got to grips with it now. There are no stitchy rules about how you should sort of do these things, but I think I've got a method that works for me. It may not be what people see as the traditional method, but it works. And as long as it works, I will continue to use it. And here comes Hannah. Good morning, Hannah.
It's raining.
I know it's raining.
That means I've got to wear my spare shoes to work. Because otherwise I can't wear my Skechers to work. Because otherwise if I want to work in my Skechers, they'll be wet through.
Yeah, make sure you take some dry clothes with you as well.
I already have that planned. And I'll be leaving them there because it's going to rain again on Wednesday.
Okie dokie. Wednesday you're going to the hospital?
Oh gosh. Maybe it's first, and I don't know. I'll check the weather. Sure, it's raining again at some point.
It's always worth leaving some dry clothes at work though, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so Sharon also says that it's tempting her to have a go at diagonal stitching. Yeah, I never thought my head would get round it because I don't have that kind of brain. But after having a go, you know, I agreed to have a go because to show you guys as well the many different styles of stitching. And after having a go, I was like, yeah, I can actually do this. I do apologise as well if you can hear my stomach growling. It doesn't like me today again. It's not hungry. It's just being a pain in the whatnot. Well, in the stomach actually, but there you go.
Have you seen my big coat?
No, love. I have not. Okay, Laurie catching up on my older videos to see what pieces you've finished. Love the colours in this one. And Laurie is referring to my Autumn Waltz, which I finished back in March this year. And that was a lovely piece to stitch. Really lovely. Carolyn Manning design. And I actually do have the others as well, which were kindly gifted to me. Maybe they can make some non-full coverage starts. So Linda Love to Stitch on Floss Tube 36, where I entitled it I May Have Been Naughty, says great project, good progress on your whips. Yeah, I do like to get in that there progress, Linda. I've said it many times, I am both a progress and a process stitcher. The process of stitching I find very calming and relaxing, but I also like to see the progress at the same time.
Found it.
Oh, cool. So, yeah. I'm a bit of both girl, best of both worlds. Gosh, my stomach's ticking away. Okay, Dawn Bucco on, again, Floss Tube 36. Great progress. I don't think I'll tell you mine. I seem to be creeping. Too much happening with packing up the garden and the greenhouse, getting ready for winter, jams to make, etc. Our leaves are are in full yellow. I'll probably be off the trees in 2 more weeks. Our temperatures have already been below 0 Celsius today at 2, but already having a hard time moving up from there. Life right, isn't it grand? Thank you for the update. Thank you, Dawn. Always lovely to hear how things are elsewhere in the world. I hope that you've managed to finish up your preparations for winter with the garden, and hopefully you'll be able to spend some time this winter hunkered down with your stitching. I may just go slightly out of shot here. I've just got a couple of little stitches just to pop in down at the very bottom. Just to use up the rest of this thread. Okay, Laurie, when I say in the video that I might have been naughty, Laurie says, I love Andy's comment. That's normal, yeah. I can't wait to see the new chart. Awesome progress this week. As soon as I get it, you guys know I will be doing an unboxing and showing you what beautiful beauties that Gecko Rouge have done. So the Gecko Bow is a limited edition. There are still a few available on their website, but mine has been ordered and I cannot wait. Okay, next thread. Is that one? Again, it's another short one. I don't know why apart short pieces.
I'll be back momentarily.
Okay, okay. Again, just 3 stitches out of that one. It was a bit of a waste of time, wasn't it?
I knew this pack would come in handy.
Okay. Okay, Sharon says, again on that video, I knew it. We know you too well, Nicola. Another unboxing video will be coming to this channel shortly. Yep. You absolutely do know me too well there, Sharon. And then Katinka also comments that she cannot wait for another Gecko Rouge unboxing. She says, I said on my video, and I said to Andy as well, that I don't like odd numbers. The Gecko Boo would take my start list to 13 next year, but I don't like odd numbers. So another one might just have to creep in there. And we will have to see. Okay, so comment here from a new subscriber. I think he's a new subscriber. Hi, Nicola, South Carolina here. I love your stitches. I'm currently working on a mini Haid, trying to build myself up to a full-size piece. My heart says, do it, but my brain says, ain't no way, don't even think about that crazy nonsense.
Okay,
I normally do what I want without hesitation, but seeing the size of fabric for a full size, that's when I stumble. I've been stitching for 30 plus years, so I have the experience. It's the kahunas I'm lacking. I love Amy Stewart's designs. I want some Moon and Stars, but I haven't found one that speaks to me yet. Suggestions welcome. In terms of the big piece, and essentially what you're saying there is it's a little bit overwhelming. With Amy Stewart's, I found, because they are made up of lots of small designs, you can just take them piece by piece, chunk by chunk. So little book by little book, or shelf by shelf, or whatever, just breaking it down into the smaller parts. And once you start stitching it, you'll enjoy the process so much, you'll just want to see the progress, I'm pretty sure. So for me, it would be one stitch at a time. I have a number of larger pieces, as you know. This one, 780,000 stitches. Daughter of the Deep, 780,000 stitches. Night Cafe, almost 1 million. So, I have some big pieces, and I just literally take them one step at a time, and I don't allow them to overwhelm me. Like on this one, I work on a word or a little section, or some mountain, or, there's a lot of background or whatever. I don't focus on it being just a small part of the bigger piece. I focus it on the small part that I'm looking at that day, if that makes sense. But eventually, the pieces will fit together, and before you know it, you're sat there with a work of art on your lap. But yeah, just take it one day at a time. You can't go wrong. That's how I do it. One day at a time, one piece at a time. Well, one piece that day. Because those of you that have watched me regularly will know that I have currently 8 pieces in rotation, or 7 in active rotation, plus 1 that I work on when my rotation stitches are finished, which is She Sleeps. She Sleeps gets in all of the extra stitches I can muster. Trying to get in 2% a week on She Sleeps at the moment, and hopefully towards the end of the year I'll be heading towards around a 70% on her. But this week I didn't manage 2%. But then again, my weekend was slightly disrupted because I had a different office day. And I know that might not sound like much, but it actually does make a difference with my stitching. Because I went in the office on Tuesday, and normally I'd stitch She Sleeps pretty much all day on the Tuesday, because on Mondays I would have finished my rotation stitches on my Monday, Tuesday piece. So I would have finished that. But I went into the office on Tuesday, so that took some She Sleeps time out. I was at home on Wednesday, so no, I wasn't. I was in the office on I was at home on Tuesday, office on Wednesday. That's right. Start that again. So on Wednesday, I would normally start my Wednesday, Thursday stitchy rotation piece, which this week was Sailing Fairy, and I would film a stitch with me. But of course I couldn't film a stitch with me because I was going into the office. So the time that I would have spent filming a stitch with me, I was travelling. So I worked on Sailing Fairy a little bit, and then I obviously went into office, and I didn't get much at all done. And then I worked on She Sleeps on the live stream. Now, normally what would happen is on a Wednesday, I would have completed, or as near as completed, the stitches on my Wednesday, Thursday rotation piece. But of course, this week they went into Thursday, and actually also went into Friday because of that office. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but you know, it just didn't work out all that well in terms of stitchy time. And then on the Saturday, I would normally have the day at home stitching, but me and the girls, we went to IKEA on Saturday, and we went and did a little shopping. So I did some overtime, and I was out of the house then at sort of 8:30 in the morning, and I didn't get back until 2. And got on with my stitching. Of course, by that point, after doing all of the walking and so on, I was a bit tired. So the stitching, although I did it, it was a little bit, I'm sorry, I might just be slightly out of shot. I did it, it was a little bit slower than I anticipated. So therefore I didn't quite get as much done as I wanted. And then Sunday, it was Night Cafe's day, so I'm a creature of habit and a creature of routine, and because of going, normally when I go into the office on a Tuesday, I would stitch a little bit on She Sleeps in the morning at home, and then I'd take her into the office and stitch on her on lunchtime, and then come back home and stitch on her again in the evening, and then start my Wednesday, Thursday rotation the following morning, and have all of that time on it. But because that had been somewhat curtailed this week, it just made it a bit complex. Isn't it funny how one thing can put you out for the whole week? But next week I'm actually off work, so I might get, you know, some stitchy time, some good stitchy time, because I'm at home a good few days and I've got a few jobs to do. But you know, the chances are I'll get some good stitchy time in. Okay, let's get rid of another one. As you can see, I'm taking the leftmost thread on this. Okay. Heather Marie says, I've been naughty and ordered the gecko boot as well. Excited. Cool. Great stuff, Heather. Now, you guys will know I'm not one for themed, but next year there'll be 2 themed as there is going into my rotation, one Christmas and one Halloween, because I don't normally do seasonal stuff. Where I've got the Christmas cat and the Halloween cat, the Gecko Rouge ones. The Halloween one was also a limited edition. I think I'm going to have about 3 limited editions, because I think the Magpies is as well. Magpie, should I say. So yeah, the bow, if it's Halloween theme, that means another Halloween theme piece, which is highly unusual for me, because I don't normally go for themes. Helen also comments and says, great progress, Nicola, well done. Thank you very much, Helen. Do you like my progress? And then Mermaid's Cove, Official Mermaid's Cove, Natalia says, who can resist a Gecko Rouge kit? Not me. Not me. And it's like I've said it on many times, it always makes people laugh. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and the bin goes out more than I do. So, heck, if I can't have a Gecko Rouge kit, there's something wrong, isn't there? I work, I do plenty of overtime, I look after my family, and having a Gecko Rouge kit is a bit of self-care for me. Jamie Womack says, great progress this week. You've inspired me to start another kit called Fireflies and Grandparents by Vincent Fleming from Haid. I've had for a while. It has so much black, yeah. I love how your Lord of the Rings looks by doing the black first to outline everything. I've always been afraid of cross-country stitching. I've gotten better and go across town, but never the whole project. Love how it's looking, and it's so much faster. It's also not a heavy confetti piece like my Grand Library or by Amy Stewart, which makes it doable for cross-country. Yep. Thank you for the encouragement to try cross-country, lol. I will not be happy if I mess up, but I will enjoy trying a new method. I'm sure you won't, as long as you grid and count twice, stitch once. What I would say to you there is, yeah, cross-country, excuse me, definitely adds a different dimension. It also kind of spruces up how you're feeling about a piece too. I've started now on my Lord of the Rings, adding in other colours as well to the outline, so that I can get the defined stained glass outlining, because all black is not the complete outline. And I think, yes, it adds, you know, some dimension there to it. So, yeah. I stitch my pieces in different methods because it keeps me interested. It stops me from being bored. If I started everything, not that I'm saying anything's wrong with it, but if I started everything in the same way, I think I would get bored. Hence me having different ways of different pieces. This one is usually in the 800 stitch down columns. You know, my stitching shelf is in rows. My sailing favourite is in rows left to right, right to left. My night cafe, the tent stitch, the step method, door to the deep on the diagonal. So it kind of gives me that impetus to pick up a piece, really, because it's a different stitching method, which does refresh you. It really does. And the more methods that you've got up your sleeve, when it comes to picking a piece and a method, you can then, the piece will tell you how it wants to be stitched. You know, I mean, all you got to do is go and have a look at one of Gemma Stitch's videos. She's doing Marvellous Garden, Heaven and Earth design, and she started off doing it diagonal, but then the piece itself showed her that she wanted to stitch it in a different, it wanted to be stitched in a different way. And, you know, Gemma's kind of, you know, acquiesced to that kind of thing, and it looks beautiful. And the way she's stitching it might be a way that I'm going to look to add to my stitching methods next year when I start my many new starts. But yeah, do enjoy cross country. I know some people who extreme cross country an entire colour in at a time. I can't do that. In, you know, when there are such confetti stitches, there have to be lots of block area so that I can see markers like on my stained glass. If I was using, say, for example, the stitch with the least amount of colours, which would probably be about 20, no way would I trust myself to count, especially if the stitches were scattered across the whole piece. So I figured if I start with the heaviest saturation of colour, I've got marker points there for counting for all the colours to go in, which reduces the risk of something going wrong. So there we go. Okay. Curly Crafter says, be naughty. I'm thinking about the gecko gem. Do it, 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 do it. Not that I'm enabling you, but do it. You know, if you don't mind a surprise, and the gecko gem is the one for you. The thing that I don't know anything about the boo, but the thing that attracted me is that it's full coverage. So that for me, I was sold. I had a Gecko Amour a couple of years ago, which was the Miss Cherry Martini Alice for Lamb, and that was a lovely little stitch. I really enjoyed that. Okay, Joanne Phillips, just find this thread, and says, I really enjoy your videos just the way they are. This is on my introduction video, my welcome video. I love the sounds of family life that goes on around you. I miss that. I haven't stitched in years, but I've thought of starting again. Oh, go on then, go on. Do start again. It's lovely. I watch and listen to you whilst working on my art. I draw and paint using watercolours. Ah, lovely. And you see, I can't do that. I am not that talented. My husband and I are retired. We live in Northern California. Thank you for your channel, and I wish you and your family the best. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, you know, if you used to stitch, I would imagine that if you get back into it now, you'll remember why you loved it. But my hat's off to you for doing your watercolour and your art. And I think you're in my group, Joanne, so do feel free to share some of your pictures of your artwork in there, because I would love to see them. Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises. On live stream 14, Wednesday, says, just watching the replay for a bit. I was helping clients earlier. Where's my, there. So I missed your live. Their cruise is on the 20th. They will be underway now, because as I record this, it's the 23rd. And I hope that they're having a wonderful time. But thank you for popping in on the replay. So all of my videos, all my live videos are available for replay. So if you do miss my live stream, you can always catch up. Okay. So Chris Evans. Excuse me. Chris Evans on my Lord of the Rings stained glass. Let's pull out my next thread. It's that one. Says, quick question, coverage for the black is excellent. Is it DMC 310 anchor or something else? It is DMC 310. I don't use any other. I know that lots of people have had issues with 310 and black coverage, but I've never found that, if I'm honest. I tend to use a railroading method for my stitches as well, where I can, just to make sure that the stitches lay properly. You perhaps can't see it in the way that I stitch, but I'm always very mindful and making sure that if I've got two strands threaded, that they're not twisting on the needle and making their own sort of thin cord. I have some cones of thread left over from my kitting days, so I have a 310. This is my 310 cone. Whether or not the quality of a cone thread is different to a skein, I can't say. I wouldn't have thought it would be, because it all comes out of the same factory, but still, I just cut my thread directly off the cone. But I've never had a problem with 310 coverage. But I get that some people do, and I know that anchor has been used a lot because it's better. I think some people have now started to use Royal Broderie, which is available on cones. CXC floss, they say, is better for black as well. And also Teresa, I think Teresa Little Stitcher uses the DMC Floche. It's Floche, it's called. Very nice. So yeah, so there's options if you're not happy with the black coverage. But I just tend to use just the normal DMC. I think as well, you know, my tension, obviously it must have something to do with it, because I don't pull my stitches terribly hard unless I'm actually fastening off. So yeah, it's a matter of personal preference. It really is. I think the rain might have baited a little bit, chicken.
Still bloody raining. Might bloody look.
What time are you working till?
3.
Okay, so I'll see you after 3, yeah? So I always use DMC for anything I kit it myself. As I said on my comment, I have a large number of cones. Unless it's a kit, then I use whatever's provided in the kit. But I know, for example, my pain-free crafts kit is DMC because I used to kit for Sarah, and I know that she only uses DMC. So yeah, but I do get that, and I know that some people have had issues with it, which is absolutely fine. But as I say, it's a case of what you like, what you're used to. And I've never used CXC, I've never used World Broderie, I've never used anything other than DMC unless it's been in a kit. I have done anchor kits because they did a lot of Tatty Teddy stuff. And when Anchor had the Tatty Teddy license, and I've used the Riolis thread as well. So it comes in their kits.
I'm leaving.
You're leaving me?
Yeah.
All right, chicken. Don't forget to bring your lunchbox home today.
Yeah, and the water bottle.
And your water bottle.
Oh,
Love you lot. See you later. Don't get too wet, otherwise the chicken's going to be turning into a duck.
that's why I got spare clothes. If I do get wet, I can change.
All right, bye. Hannah's really enjoying her job. She loves it. It's so good for her as well that she can get out and do it. Okay, Jane on my naughty stitch with me at naughty floss tube says, naughty and nice. I admire your bravery in stitching large projects. Also, I admire your skill in doing them. I'm sorry you have tech problems and I hope they're sorted soon. Well done, Andy, with the guests. And well done, you, with losing weight. Thank you very much, Jane. Okay. We'll not talk about my weight this week because I had a minor meltdown at slimming class and all. There we go. Laurie on my Stitch With Me with Night Cafe says the top corner is so bright. Nice progress. Yep. It certainly is. I am enjoying Night Cafe. It came out on my Sunday stitch this week and I loved it. I'd put in 1,500 stitches and I knocked about a year off the end date, which is always good news. I'm hoping that because this Night Cafe, Daughter of the Deep, this one, and She Sleeps are going into secondary rotation next year for my I Want to See Progress works. I'm hoping to knock some more time off it and see some real progress. Okay. Maria has asked me a question and said, quick Nicola question, it's Maria. What do I do on 14 count for envy? Do I do it 1/1 or 2/1? Well, for 14 count, I would always do 2/1. And I know this was a while ago, Maria, so I hope that you've got started and stuck in. And do let me know and see your progress. For 14, 16 and 18 count, I would always do 2/1. For 20 counts, I would do either 2/1 or 1/1, depending on the piece. I'm doing 2/1 on She Sleeps because I think it needs that little bit heavier coverage. And then for 25 and 28, it'd be 1/1 for full cross for me. And the highest, the highest count I would stitch on is 28. I don't think my eyes could take 32. I had a look at a piece of 32 count Murano. I was in a hobby shop at the weekend getting a circular knitting needle. And I had a look at some 32 count Murano. And I was looking at the holes and I'm thinking, well, it doesn't look much different to 25. But I guess that once it's on the frame and I'm stitching on it, it'd be a whole different ball of wax. So needless to say, it stayed on the shelf. I've got to order some Lugana soon as well for Pandora for next year. And the other one I need a bit of fabric for would be my one ring, but I think I'm going to do that on 20 count. And plot twist with that, I might be stitching it twice. I have a friend at work who is an even bigger Lord of the Rings fan than me. And it's his 40th birthday next year. So I'm considering stitching it twice. Once for me and once for him. So that could be piece number 14. I'm just picking through the part threads here. I think this is probably what people don't like about parking, is that sometimes you literally have to pick through the thread. There we go. Okay, Laurie says, on my last stitch me with this one, sounds like people are enjoying the Facebook group. Yep, there's about 175 members in there now, which is superb. Love seeing all the posts. Nice progress on the map. Yep. And then she says she'd see me Sunday. And I just love this map. I really do. Cross stitch OW8DE. Lovely stitching. Wish I could do small stitching. My eyes are not good enough. I do have a magnifier, which I don't always use. But, you know, they are incredibly handy things to have when you're working on 25 count. In mornings, my eyes get tired. My eyes are still tired in the morning for a little while. Although I find that it's mornings that I need the help and not evenings, which is really kind of the opposite. You would expect that my eyes would be tired towards the end of the day. especially working on a computer all day. But no, it's the mornings that is it's a sticking point for me. But a good magnifier is worth its weight in gold and enables us to do these pieces. Karen, the needlebug, has some craft optic glasses, which are prescription magnifiers. And she absolutely swears by those. Where there's a will, there's a way, and stitching on small account to do a big piece, there is always a way to do it. So there we go. Okay, Patsy and Betty both say hi on my live stream. And I had a message in Spanish from Cross Stitch Lourdes. Hola, desde España, me encanta verte bordar. Ese proyecto es precioso, ya estoy suscrita. So basically she's saying that she loves my projects and she's subscribed to me, which is fantastic. So muchas gracias. And it's so nice to have you here from Spain. And I probably butchered half of that, so, you know, do forgive my pronunciation. I do get a little tongue-tied, but I do love attempting other languages. It's great. Don't ask me to do anything like Japanese or Korean or anything like that, though, because it ain't going to chime. Okay. Sandy, my lovely friend, says, what a wonderful stitch with me. You're so enjoyable to listen to, and your warmth and enthusiasm floods out. Thank you, Sandy. I do try. I'm so glad Andy has spoiled you, bless him. Sorry I haven't commented for a while, but I've had a bad week health-wise. Nothing serious, but it takes it out of you the older you get. I hope you're on the mend now, Sandy. I think you are. But, you know, I'm always here. Hope Hannah can shift that cough real quick. Well, she's still having the odd little cough, but I think she's top side of it now, thankfully, because she does moan about it, bless her. It's good to hear Lauren's trying harder at school. So important in the last year. Loving your progress. Thanks for sharing. Take care and happy stitching. Thank you, Sandy. And the girls absolutely love it when their name checked in these comments as well. So I do always, and this goes for everybody, whenever the girls are mentioned, I do let them know that they have been mentioned in a comment. And they're like, usually, oh, isn't that lovely? Or, you know, which is great, you know. They are, for me, as much a part of this channel. So, and I do thank you guys for making sure that the girls are not left out, as it were. Okay, Linda on FlashTube 37, where I'm home alone, says great progress on your lovely project. And Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises says, hey Nicola, great progress on your projects. I keep forgetting to put photos on your Facebook group. This is your reminder, Kelly. Kay, who is a Sussex stitcher, when I was in that floss tube, I was having some major tummy rumbles. Says, I didn't hear any rumbles. Did Andy edit it out? No, he didn't. You would have had to listen very hard to hear it. I could hear it obviously quite clearly, but the camera didn't pick it up as much as I thought, which was great. Okay. The other case, Stitchy Pfeiffer says, lovely progress as always. Thank you very much. Okay. A lovely long comment from Leslie Maud. And she says, lots of progress this week, Nicola, don't know how you do it. Your hair looks really nice, especially when you turn your head sideways, and it's nothing like a basin cut, as you put it. I'm starting to get a little happier with it now, but it just did feel a bit basiny when I looked at it the other day. So yeah, but I think all's well that ends well on the haircut front. It will be interesting to see your new filming equipment if and when you get it. Sorry, I didn't get to see all your live. We kept having power cuts. That's a shame. Hopefully be able to catch tomorrow. No worries at all. Sometimes these things happen. Yeah, I mean, you can't predict when power cuts, etc. will go off. What am I done here? Oh, I've put in an extra stitch where I didn't need one. Just a second. It should not have been there. Should have been over here. These things happen though when you least expect them. Okay. Regine Coat says absolutely beautiful. And Official Mermaids Cove leaves me some hearts. Great progress on your whips on FlossTube 37, says Sandy. Thanks for sharing. Love the haircut, suits you. Thanks for sharing. Take care. Happy stitching. Oh yes. And stop eating and grazing between meals. We're on a countdown, remember? Yep. I haven't forgotten, Sandy. I am counting down, but unfortunately it's not always going as the way I want it. Fingers crossed I see some scale movement this week, because I didn't see any last week. But as you're watching this video, I will be getting weighed because it goes out on Thursday. I released this video on Thursday night just before I go to get weighed. So there we go. Okay. On that FlossTube, I did shout out another FlossTuber, which was Elle, the Keystone Stitcher. If you've not seen her channel, please do go take a look. She does some amazing projects, and she's commented to say, Nicola, thank you so much for your kind words about my stitching. What a shock to hear you mention my name. I followed you for some time because I love your projects, and I think your stitching looks so neat on the high count fabric that my eyes can't see. Thanks again. So I did respond and told Elle that I was absolutely happy to share her wonderful work and invited her along to the group. But unfortunately, Elle doesn't use Facebook, but I'm sure if she did, she would have been there. But as ever, Elle, wonderful to share and happy to share your beautiful work. And I will be ever positive of people like yourself that do such wonderful things and are not highlighted enough, in my opinion. So I hope my shout out has helped you and helped your channel. It's always nice to have that growth. Okay. And then Diane, this is the last comment today. Again on FlossTube 37. Diane says, your hair looks nice. It was the first thing I noticed when the video started. I am here for the cross stitch and all of your projects looked terrific. Great stuff. Thank you very much, Diane. And that is where comments come to their end today. So, yeah. We're now caught up to live stream last Wednesday. I really must make a new lanyard for my scissors because this one is just a touch short. Either that or I want one of those extended cable things for it, for my scissors. I've got one of those on my work lanyard, but I'm not taking it off my work lanyard because that helps me get through the gate line at work. It's quite nice just to sit and fill in these park threads. And with this one, I can actually do it and not get lost, which is even better. I think if I was trying to do this on my night cafe and filled in the park threads on that, I would definitely get lost. And we've got about 15 minutes of stitchy time left. And I've done quite a good number actually. I think I'll get close to 300 stitches on this stitch with me, which is great. I'm up to 385 so far, and I'd started on 133, so I'm pretty sure I can get 50 stitches done in the next 15 minutes. There's already some drilling or something going on in the neighbourhood. I mean, at this time on a Monday morning, that's just rude. It's 8:30. Okay. I like my peace and quiet. Let's try that again. Cool. You can hear the little ones next door as well. Oh, they have been noisy this weekend. I get that children, little children, will make noise, but it just seems like there's no attempt for them to, you know, sort of temper that noise a little bit. When my girls were little, if they made a noise, after a minute or two, I would be saying, okay, that's enough. You know, and using avoidance techniques to stop them from making such noise, because obviously you're aware that you have neighbours and neighbours are entitled to peace and quiet. But no, they don't seem to do that next door. They just seem to let, certainly the little boy, there's a little boy and a little girl, they just seem to let them scream away. How on earth that they don't end up with massive headaches, I don't know. It could be that she needs a little bit of support, which she's not getting. I don't know, but I don't know them well enough to go around there and offer some help and support. You know, not that I can do an awful lot anyway, because I work, but still. We had to go around there a few weeks ago because there was an argument in the middle of the day and the children were distressed. Obviously the parents were having a bit of a blow. and he upped and left the house, leaving her in the house with 2 distressed children. And me and Andy actually went round and said, look, we know we don't know you that well, but we've heard what's gone on, and our concern is that you and the children are safe. You can always come round. You have a bolt hole at my house if you want to come round and go have a cup of tea and eat biscuits and, let the kids terrorise the cat, fine. But you shouldn't be, you're not on your own. I mean, I know what it's like to look after children single-handedly, because in my first marriage, my ex-husband worked away. And essentially, I brought up the girls as a single parent because he was not around to assist me in their upbringing. And I'm not saying that, to sort of bash him or anything, because it's what he did. It was work. It was a necessity. But, I had points when I was looking after these girls on my own that when they went to bed at night, this is when I got 2, so before Lauren was born, when I went to bed at night, I would have a drink. And it got to the point that the drinking was starting to become a habit. So I stopped it because I realised that I was fixing one problem with another problem and creating more problems. And then I just got myself out there and made sure that I took the kids to playgroup and made the effort to get to know other parents and, and so on, which helped enormously. And I think that the lady next door, I think she's a little bit isolated. But unless she wants to, I can't make her interact. I'd like for her to, but I can't make her. But I've left the door open and offered her support if she needs it. But Andy was very worried because he sits right next to the partition wall, and he heard this argument go on, and he was quite upset by it. They are quite young, in their early 20s, I think. Early to mid-20s, I would say. He works, I think she does too, but with having 2 small children, there's obviously a lot of financial pressure as well. So yeah, it's not easy. Not easy. I think when the children are in school, things will get a little bit better. And the little boy's in part-time school, I think. But he could do with full-time school. Maybe that's on its way, I don't know. I think he's about that age. Well, we've got 5 more minutes left. And I've definitely made that 50 stitch goal I will have by the time I've put these few in. I'm getting there with this one, and with these part threads. A good number have been worked in this morning. I'll work them all in, and over the next sort of couple of sessions that this one's out. Oh, that didn't go down well, did it? That's better. Oh, excuse me. Okay. No, don't want to start it from there. I want to start it from here. Sorry, realised I was going off shot there. Okay, so that stitch puts me now at 443, and I started off at 133 after frogging a few stitches. So that's 310 in this session, which I'm super happy with. So I'm going to end this stitchy time with my usual reminders. 3 videos will be appearing on your screen in a moment. If you've not seen those, please do go take a few minutes to have a look. As ever, my schedule is on a Wednesday. No, start that again. As ever, my schedule is Tuesdays, a floss tube, Thursdays and Saturdays I release a Stitch With Me video, and on Wednesdays and Sundays, 7:30 p.m. UK time, all being well, fingers crossed, technical difficulties aside, I have a live stream. So if you can join me for any one of or all of those, it would be much appreciated. So thank you all very much for watching, guys. Do take care, happy stitching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.